Hi you guys, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to bring you this Gigi Hadid and Patrick Ta inspired look for Eid, so I'm jumping right in with the Embryolisse Late Cream Concentrate, which acts as a primer and moisturizer in one. For foundation, I'm using the NYX Born to Glow in the color Medium Olive. This is not only a great color for me, but the finish reminds me of Giorgio Armani's Luminous Silk for a fraction of the cost. So I like to spread it evenly all over my face with the brush and then press it in with a damp beauty blender. So I love using the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer under my eyes, but it is really thick. So what I like to do is blend it out with a little bit of oil. I'm using the Good Molecules Ultra Hydrating Oil. And what this does is it shears out the consistency of the concealer while keeping the coverage intact. Here, I'm making sure that my concealer makes a sharp upwards line along the same angle as the line connecting the outermost edge of my nostril to the outermost corner of my eye. This way, it'll give my face a lifted appearance. I do the same sort of thing along the outer corners of my lips to give them a lift as well. I'm using the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder to set under my eyes. And then I'm using the KKW Contour Stick in the color Deep to contour my face. This stick was gifted to me by a friend, so it's not the right color for my complexion, and I really wish I had the medium stick instead. But it is so emollient and beautiful when it's blended out that I use it anyways. So I'm just applying it along the usual areas. And because there is so much along my cheek, I'm just picking up the product there and moving it to other areas of my face as I blend the product out. Using the same translucent setting powder on this base Blue Cosmetics brush, I'm setting the rest of my face and then going in with my Shade and Light palette, using this golden shade to start bronzing up my skin. And then I will use the cooler shade in the palette to start carving out my cheekbone, kind of along the middle of my cheekbone rather than back towards my hairline, to create that divot and hollow that Gigi Hadid has. So now you can see how lifted one side of my face looks. I'm setting my under eyes using the Makeup Revolution setting powder in the color Lace. I'm going to use this for baking purposes, but it's also going to catch any fallout from the eyeshadow I'll apply next. You can really layer this powder without it creasing under your eyes, and I use it to carefully carve up the sides of my nose as a reverse contour. Now to do my brows, I'm using Dip Brow from Anastasia in the color Dark Brown. And what I do is I lay the edge of my angled brush along the bottom of my eyebrow and trace a smooth line. And I do the same for the top of the arch. And then I go in with the side of the brush and push up along my brow to feather out the color evenly, but in a soft way. This step is optional, but I use a brow gel to go through and set my brow hairs as well. And I do this mainly because it gives my brow more dimension and impact. I'm carving out the bottom of my brow and also priming my eyelid with the Nude Stick Sculpting Pencil in the color Medium. I'm setting this lightly with translucent powder and then going in with eyeshadow. I'm using the Morphe Hit the Lights palette in the color Hookup to create my outer V. So I pack on the color and then I blend it out, and I go in back and forth a few times until the transition is just how I want it. For my lid color, I'm using the Nudestix Magnetic Nude Glimmers in the color Bronze Eye Babe. I apply a little from the tube and then blend it out with this flat shader brush, making sure to carve out my crease and blend this color into my outer V. And now for my favorite part of this look, along the inner part of my lid, I'm using the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Skin Highlighting Trio in the color Fine Gold. I'm going to give you guys a more affordable option to use on the other lid, but this is the true gold color that I feel was used in Gigi's look. So for a more affordable option on the other lid, I'm going to use the color Vibing from the same Morphe palette. Next to the Pat McGrath color, it doesn't look yellow at all, but on its own, it looks close enough to the color that was used on Gigi. And now going in with a more silvery highlight, I'm using this one from my Dior highlight palette. I'm going to put that into my inner tear duct. So I created this wing that was kind of thick from the center of the lid outwards and quite fine and along the lash line towards the inner tear duct. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix powder in the color C5 to set around my jawline and to clean up my cheek area. At this point, you can go in with your lashes, but I prefer not to wear them, so I'm going in with my favorite mascara duo of all time. This is the MAC in Extreme Dimension Lash, and it is the blackest black mascara you will ever use. It lays down pigment so well and is quite wet, so it coats all of your lashes. And I like to go in afterwards with a wand like the telescopic mascaras wand from L'Oreal and comb them all out to separate them and lengthen them. And just to finish off my look, I'm going to do my lips. I'm using Morphe's lip liner in the color Sweet Tea. This is by far one of my favorite lip liners of all time. It genuinely just goes with absolutely every color. And I'm topping this off with a little bit of the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the color 55 Driver. I just apply a little bit to the center of my lips and blend it all out with a lip brush. And that is all for this look. Please let me know what you thought, what you would like to see next, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. An early Eid Mubarak to everyone.